Block 4, lesson 7, Professor C here with Coach Rajan. We're talking about butterfly sweep Sumi Gaeshi, which is a shoulder lock. We'll call this the Gordon sweep. Gordon Ryan popularized this back about 5 or 6 years ago in his run through the ADCC. It was something that he hit pretty famously on Buchecha. So this is really a great sweep, whether gi or no gi. One of the reasons that I do like it is because of its cross applicability. We can hit it on either side of the game we happen to be playing. It's not necessarily needing a gi or no gi application. It can go either way. So we're talking about butterfly guard. Now what we're looking at here, for purpose of demonstration, I'll show you on this side. We are looking to go over or under the arm and over the shoulder, and we want to try to get our hands as close as possible to underneath our cheek. So we're getting an X grip here, and what happens is as this shoulder gets brought down here, it puts her chin down over the top of my forearm naturally. So what I have now is I have shoulder control while pulling down, but I have the ability to elevate with my elbow and affect the head. And if I can affect the line of the head, I can take the body pretty much any which way I want to go. So we'll switch out to this other side. What we're looking to do here is stretch our opponent. Now, just for purposes of demonstration, we'll go double underhook. So the first drill we want to work is we want to work on stretching our opponent out. So if you're a coach, what we need to do is break this down into a series of steps. We'll work on the Sumi Gaeshi part, which is the shoulder lock. Last, we'll work on stretching them out first. First part we're working on, let's double underhook and let's just have them lay back and extend them out. Because what we want to do is we want to get them completely extended out to where now we can simply roll them over. So how do we do this? We'll put this down into 2 sweeps. Youth can actually do this sweep the way I'm doing it right now. They're extending them out. They're simply going to roll them over from there. So we're going to go double underhooks. This is a double underhook Sumi Gaeshi. We'll add this as a technique. They're going to lay back, stretch the opponent out until their knees hit the ground. Once their knees hit the ground, they're going to stretch them out even farther and flip them over, moving into the mount. Again, double underhooks from butterfly. We're going to scoot our butt underneath as opposed to just laying back. So now they're loaded, extend, and over. We're simply steering them over. Now that we've worked on the actual elements of the sweep itself, we want to practice on the Sumi Gaeshi aspect of it. This is where more of the no-gi application comes in, okay? So what we're going to do here, I'm going to call out a couple of big problems that we have. We start out, whether it be double underhooks, whatever, a lot of times I launch this from here. I get to a double underhook. This hand is going to run across, and we're going to get an X grip, and we're going to lay back. Now, as we lay back, we still want to try to put them on the ground. Once we put them on the ground, I'm locking this hand here, and I'm going to simply twist the head over, coming down, and it's very important that I stay on this arm. Because our mount is predicated on being able to keep a high elbow position, we don't want to bail on that simply because we get to the mount. So let's make sure and impress on all the athletes, especially if you're a coach, that when you come over, maintain this grip right here on this high side elbow. So another thing we don't want to do, when we hit this grip, what tends to happen here is we tend to get stretched out, and we tend to see people try to elevate their opponent and push them over with their elbow. What happens here is when they separate this much, this hand can come in front, and they can start to now push off and defend, and you get caught in a very compromised position because your feet are down, you're extended out, and it's very easy to pass your guard. You're very long here, so we don't want to do that. When I come in and I get this grip, I want to keep my head as close as humanly possible to my hands. I don't want to create any space. So when I drop underneath, I want to basically put them on my forearm. I'm going to lift my elbow just a little bit over on the right side, but I'm not going to be like pushing her away. I'm just going to lift my elbow slightly, and I'm going to steer them to the side enough that when I take the foot out from underneath them, they come over. My head is going to go to the mat, trapping her arm, and then I'm going to climb up so that now I wind up finishing in a good high elbow position. Again, the biggest mistake we see here in what is an otherwise high predominant sweep is people tend to let their hands separate. They feel like they have to use their elbow and steer them over when they really don't. If we stay up underneath this shoulder and I keep this shoulder ratcheted down, keep them super tight, and everywhere I go now, her chin is riding on my forearm. I'm just gonna lift it a little bit, and now I can affect the sweep more so with my feet than I have to with my elbow. I just want to kind of have her chin ride on the forearm. Okay, so really all I'm doing is hasping this. I'm gonna elevate the elbow just a little, and then I'm gonna try to affect this sweep more by elevating the legs up, getting them at a kind of an elevated position, head down, legs are up, so that way I can roll them over. If the head is above the feet, as we go back, if the head is above the feet, she has a tendency to be able to defend. She can move her hips, she can switch her hips out, she can really make my life difficult here. If I get her feet up behind her head, in the air, elevated, and I'm here, now it's much easier to take them over for a number of reasons. One of the biggest being that their feet are off the mat. If we do happen to get them stretched out, I would much rather them be stretched out kind of with a swayed back, and I'm kind of coming up. So I'm here, head is up. Notice she's kind of got a swayed back here. She's not able to get up to her feet, which means I'm gonna effectively be able to finish this sweep out. I wanna eliminate her ability to generate drive with her feet.